Hi everybody, this is Diane. I have been thinking about this journal for days and days and days, like how do I want to proceed with it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this one, as I mentioned, because it's in pretty bad shape and it has a slight musty smell, so I would be a little hesitant to list this in my shop, but I absolutely love it, and I'm a music lover. I talked about all of that. And I want to use some vintage items in here that I would like to keep. So I am going to make this one to put in the shop. I love this cover also. It is so fun. It's not as old as the music one, but it is really fun. And I love the illustration on the front. And it's about the same size, and it is vintage, and I can do the same sort of style, I think, with it. So let's talk about the style a little bit. I am all over the place with this in my head. I'm just bouncing all over. I want it to be vintage and a little bit grungy, but not super grungy. I want it to be fun retro grungy. Does that make sense? That's how I'm calling it. Fun retro grungy. So I've been thinking about what kinds of things to include. You know, if you watched my dividing, what did I call it? Organizing my music supplies for two different styles of music journals, you saw a lot of the really fun cards. Oh dear. I have a lot of little cards and a lot of larger flash cards for music and lots of other things to use. So I do want to incorporate them, but I want to use things that aren't music related also. So I pulled out these yellow alphanumeric stencils, and I want to use some of those and some vintage envelopes that I hoard. I do not like to use these because they're so hard to find. It's just hard to find vintage envelopes, especially the ones that are printed on with a business. Look at this. I don't think that's printed. I think somebody wrote that. That's awesome. But things like this, they're very hard to find. I don't find them all the time, and I want them. I don't want to get rid of them. This I have a few of. I got a stack of them at a flea market, so I can use that. Look how tiny and cute they are. This is from a bank, but it's sealed. I'll have to slit it. So anyway, I got out vintage envelopes and even the little packets for negatives and film developing. I have other things out too, but I just want to get started. I did get out my music stamps. So let me show you what I did already. I was looking at some of my journals that I already have. Some I made and some I bought for ideas. And this idea was in this journal that I made in 2016. I did the same thing right there with a pilot's log. So I used to do a lot of taking pieces of vintage file folders, and some of them I copy dyed, and stamping on them, and I really want to do more of that. I always intend to do that, and I've got great stamps for doing it. So this is the tabbed part of a folder, and I know I have a bunch of these because I don't throw them away when I cut up an envelope or a folder, but I don't know where they are. I found 2 of these tabbed pieces. And so I made this with a piece of ledger paper, and I can show you how I did that in another video. So there's a pocket here, and there's a pocket here from the way I glued it on. And this is more fragile than what I used in the first example. So I had to put some vintage masking tape. I have this masking tape that was folded around something, so it's permanently creased that way. It's a little difficult to glue it on because it's hard to get it open, to stay open enough to put the glue on and then slide it onto something without holding onto itself and gluing itself closed. but I managed to do it for 2. So this is going to go in the Almanac journal. You can see it's just a small piece of the folder, and I have to stitch around that. And so the piece that goes in here is just a scrapbook piece that was copy dyed, and it's light enough that it can be written on. You can write on the back too. And I stamped my Beethoven stamp on it. And he's an old stamp. This is probably from the 90s, and it feels hard. It's not very soft anymore. It's from Stampington and Company. Yeah, 1995. So I used my VersaFine pigment ink for fine details, and I stamped it on my mouse pad, and look at all the detail that it got. I'm so happy with it. When I felt it, I thought, I don't know if that'll even work anymore, but it did. And I put one of these game cards in here, and I don't know what else I'll put in there. I'll put something else in there. I was just playing yesterday, and that's what I did. So that's all I've done besides cutting the papers and collating them. I just lied, because I did just cut this. It's from a children's encyclopedia, and I thought that would be a perfect pocket. So I didn't back it to anything. I probably won't, because it's light enough, it's thick enough. And this was part of the page, and I would probably glue something on the back for journaling. I didn't want to fold it this way, because then, like, I was thinking of making a booklet out of it, but then the first part of the article is over here. So if I fold it this way and just give the writing space on the outside and just leave this so I can read it, because this is going, I think this will go in my journal. So that's it. That's all I've done. This morning, I got out this die set that I bought a little while ago, and I haven't used it yet, and I've been wanting to use it. It is by Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I had to cut this up so it would fit in the envelope. But it is pocket circle set, and it says chevron. Not sure why it says chevron, but that's from Elizabeth Craft Designs 2054. And I saw her, she did a video, Els, I think her name is, maybe that's short for Elizabeth, but she said she did this part just for fun, and it's the center. When you had a 45 record, the hole was big, and if you had it on a turntable with a spindle for 33 RPM album, the hole was small for the 33s and big for the 45. So you would put this in the middle of your record, your 45 record, and then this hole would go down the spindle and hold your record still. So that's what that did. She said she did that just for fun, and if you know what it is, you know what it is. And she didn't even tell us in the video. And this looks like a microphone. So she had in mind a record and a microphone, and then also you could make a clock. But I just wanted to make a pocket, and there's a circle to cut out the little tag that goes in the pocket. And I think if I cut this out, that would fit on here as the reinforcer. So I just wanted to show that to you. So I'm gonna do something with this, but I don't know what yet. So what am I gonna do today? Why are we here? I don't know. I told you, my head is bouncing all over the place. Well, not my head, my brain. See, I don't know what I want to grab. Oh, I did think about using some vintage music and decorating with the flowers too. So I brought in some children's book, music book pages. I thought for this Fun with Music book, I wanted to use some of the kids' pages that I have. Maybe not with illustrations. I guess it depends on the illustration. That one's fun. There'd be a lot of writing room on that. This is cute with the hands numbering the fingers. But I don't think I want things like that in it. It'd be fun in another kind of book. And I already put music pages in the book because, as pages, because this book is a music book. So this is a different music book, and this is from this book. I love the illustrations in this. So it does have some music pages in it. So these I'm going to make ephemera with. So maybe I will make a side pocket. I'll do it with this first. And I'll just get one of these so I know what size to make it. These pages are 9 1/4. Nope, 8 3/4. I was wrong. 8 3/4. And this is a Not Too Fragile page from 1979. Let's make it 2 inches wide. Yeah, I think that should be wide enough. Eight 3/4. And I think I would like, this is kind of thin, so I will back it onto some cardstock. I didn't bring any cardstock in with me. It's right out in the nook outside my office, or outside my craft room here. So I'm going to go grab some cardstock. So I didn't know if I wanted to use pink or a tan, and I think I'll go with a tan. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to put it on this page. I just got that out for size. But if I put it on tan, it will be neutral. Sorry for the crackling. Actually, I will cut this a little smaller because I want the tan to show. So I'll cut this at 8 3/4. And a little bit wider than this. And maybe I need to choose what page it's going to go on so I can match the color. My scrapbook papers are smaller because this book is wider than 6 inches. That looks nice. But I have a pocket here, so I want to put a pocket on the other side of the book. I think I'll put it on this side. So I would ink around things because I want it to look a little bit grungy. And I would sew this on and then apply a flower. This is from a book. Some of these are digitals. I have some from books. This is a vintage piece. It's fragile. But I like this one. I put black thread in my sewing machine. to get the fun. I'll give it a wider margin at this part so I have room for the notch without cutting the music. And I think I'll use my big one and make it a wide, shallow notch. Well, it's not going to be very wide because I can't go down very far. Well, I don't see my little scissors again. Those little rascals, they're small and they can hide. I did find them. I think I told you that. And they were right in the container where they belong, but they were situated weird and I couldn't see them. But now they're not in there. I'll have something done. So I will be right back. I'm back. I think I wanted to put it over here, but that's okay. It looks pretty. I would do this with my little scissors if I had them here. I think I'll ink this just a little bit. I think this picture is from that North American Wildlife book from Reader's Digest. So many good pictures in that book. Of plants and creatures. I don't think I need anything else. Maybe, yeah, let's try one of these guys. Yeah. I like that. It's already kind of grungy, and it's cut crooked, but I'm leaving it the way it was cut. I got the whole bag or box, whatever it was, of these things, and I was so thrilled to find them. I'm getting excited about going back to the flea market, even though I don't want to buy a whole lot more supplies. Well, I need to sew that on too. Let's see if I need anything else before I go to the sewing machine. Let's see. I didn't look through my postage stamps for music, or maybe I did. I don't remember. I looked through it recently, but I don't remember if it was for the postage or for the music. There they are. I found them. I think, well, let me look at labels. kind of labels do I have? That's a stamp. I stamped it on brown glassine paper and I liked it. But I think I'll just glue that on after I sew this on. Now we have our 3 items. I sewed around it with a zigzag and a straight stitch. There. I like that. And we're going, yep, that's the back side of the page. So we're going to make the decision to glue it down there right now. Snip that little tiny piece off that's hanging over the edge. Then I can put all kinds of fun things in the pockets. My great flashcards and things like that. All right. We have that pocket and we have that pocket in one signature. Now, I want to look at these vellum pieces and see what I can do with them. I really want to include them. And I love this part of an old sheet music piece, but I think I'll save that for, well, I don't know. I was thinking saving it for the other journals that I'll be doing, but we'll see. I have these large music flashcards. I love these. And maybe I could attach them to a page as a flip out. That could be fun. I'm gonna clip that in there. I'm gonna use the green. I'm gonna clip that in there so I can remember that thought. And then I'll get to it and I'll be like, what's that there for? Okay, let's look at the vellum. What can we do with the vellum? This came from an old DCWB pad of paper. They called them stacks. And this was in it too. And there were, looks like at least 3 vellum sheets in the pad. I'm sorry if you can hear people talking and machinery outside. They're right outside my window again. Maybe, let's see, maybe just a nice little collage. Okay, I think I might have an idea. I'm thinking of a little booklet with this on the front, like a notebook. And I think I would like that. It says lesson number 39 on it. just wrote on my vellum. Hope I can get that off. I usually get myself a little bit more settled into the style I want before I make a video, so you are witnessing the very beginning process. And I don't feel like this every time. Sometimes I have a better idea of what I want to do, a clearer picture of what I want the end result to be. And many times the end result is not what I started out wanting, but it might evolve as I'm working. So I just know what I want to start with. I think I cut off the mark. It's a little bit longer than the vellum piece. And then I want some paper that can actually be written on. Here we go. I've got some in here. I've got this. That's a nice big piece. I don't really want to cut that up. I can use that one. Oh, that one's already cut. Okay. And let's see what I've got down here. That should be enough. Maybe I should cut this one smaller so I can see. I want this in the front because of the lesson number 39. I want to be able to see that. But I would like to be able to see other papers behind it. So I'm going to cut this one off. It's more decorative than anything. I think I like it with the words. The notes maybe compete with that. Okay, that's good. And then this piece. How wide is this? 3 inches. So I'm making this one a little bit wider. It's 6 3/4. I think I'll put this one at the back of the booklet. This will be the last page, so it's wider and bigger, but longer. Let's see how we like this. I was thinking of just using a brad or an eyelet here in this corner. And then it would have to swivel. Yeah, that looks good. Well, I don't think I need a big hole. or even that littler hole. I think I'll just use my pokey tool. Make it big enough for the prongs of a brad to go through. Oh, they're being very noisy out there. You guys always say that it doesn't bother you, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, I think I'd like to use one of my vintage brads. I should have better water pressure when they're done, though. It's not just for me, it's for everybody in this community. How fun is that? Then you can take the brad off if you want to remove a page to write on it, or I can. But I will make, whatever I'm making for this book, I'll make a version of it for the other book that's not a music-themed book. Now, can I add, like, stamp one of my music stamps and cut it out and add it? That's probably too big. I love that with all their names on it, but it won't work on this. This says, music, the greatest good that mortals know and all of heaven we have below, by Joseph Addison. I could stamp that there. Well, not there, but glue it there. Put my brads back where they belong before I spill them. I get in the creative flow and things just start flying. That's how I lose things. They get buried. There's kind of almost a tear. It didn't go all the way through there, but I like that. I like how grungy this piece looks. This was a 12 by 12 sheet that I copy dyed, but it got damaged, torn, and so I just put it in my collection of copy dyed scraps that to cut up and use. Well, maybe I won't tear it or cut it. I'll just tear it. And if I don't like it on this piece of vellum, I'll use it elsewhere in the journal. Double-sided would be good because you could see it through the vellum, and I like this. It has a contrast and it's dark enough, and I think that's perfect. Okay. So I think I'd like to just stitch around that and then glue it down to this. And you can't really see the pattern on it, but you can see the color through it. So it's better than a white one, I think. So I will do that. I'm not going to take the time to do it right this minute. And we're almost out of time. I'm at 43 minutes, but I'm going to delete some stuff, so I'm going to do a little bit more. What would I do with this in a book? Maybe tuck it in a pocket, maybe clip it to a page. I don't know yet. So for now, I'm just going to set it in my ephemera basket here. Had these things set aside. When I did the sorting, I set these things aside. This music paper and all these little pieces. So these are children taking violin, or not violin, but that one is, music lessons. And so that's perfect for this, even though it's a different era than the songbook that I'm using. I already pulled one of those out. Here it is. I think I'll make a journaling card with that. I was just wondering if it was too big for that. Oh, I think that black and white would look really nice in there. I did take violin lessons briefly. Then my violin teacher moved away. It was through my school, and there was no other violin teacher, so I never continued. Just looking for my collage pouch. Well, that has numbers embossed on it. That's cute. There are numbers involved in music, you know. Has letters too. And letters, of course, make up the musical scale, A through G. I stamped this and cut it out. It's another old stamp, but it has a dent in it right there, so it won't ink there. I don't know if I want to use that or not. That's not the idea I had in mind for that. I was thinking I could just put these down the edge of a page, so I'll save them for that. looking for a label. Now you can see the letters and numbers better. And I like the white of the doily just as it is, so I think this will work. I still don't feel like I have it all nailed down. I have a lot of pages left to think about and a lot of supplies here with all these game cards and flashcards and whatnot, and I really want to make use of them. So I think next, not in this video because this video is done, but next project for the journal will be thinking about how to use flashcards and game cards, because I have cards in all different sizes. I'll trim this edge after I trim the piece because it's going to hang off a little bit, and I'll trim it. All right, so I'm going to end the video right here because you can see how I'm going to create this little piece, and you saw where I'm going to end up putting it, I think, is where it's going to go. So I'll be back again to show you what else I come up with, and maybe I'll have a clearer picture of this journal by then. I'm glad you came along with me today, though, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.